Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you directly after a 126-96 victory over the Washington Wizards. Another absolutely dominating blowout. We honestly made them look like a not professional basketball team tonight for much of the game. There was a lot of chippiness that happened throughout this game, mostly from their end. It seemed that there was a little bit of a lack of professionalism, maturity coming from there, and we were the ones kind of acting like the adults in the room, and that showed itself on the rest of the way the game was played. They were not very well put together tonight, and showed why they are a very bad basketball team with one of the worst records in all of basketball. For the Hawks, kind of a different way of winning tonight. Not exactly how we've won any game before. We had a ginormously blow it open game from Corey Kispert. We had kind of low scoring numbers from pretty much everyone else on the team except for CJ McCollum, who made sure he did not have a low scoring game by shooting the ball a whole heck of a lot. Quite honestly, we had 126 points in a game wherein we did not play very well offensively. They're just very, very, very bad on defense. And I'm going to look at it right now just so I don't misquote. But the main problem that they had was giving up a ton of very easy to score offensive rebounds. We had 11 offensive rebounds in the game, which is a significant number for us because in games where we have 10, we're extremely likely to win. And also, we had a large number of second chance points tonight off of those offensive rebounds. Plus, we forced a total number of 14 turnovers, and we got 21 points off of those turnovers, which is another large margin in the game. They only had 12, and so just in points off turnovers, we were already at +9. That's like starting the game off down 9-0. When you are a bad enough team like the Washington Wizards are, you desperately need to not have yourself being put into a 9-0 hole by turning the ball over a lot. And also, rebounding a lot of times is an effort stat. So if you are giving up a ton of offensive rebounds and lots of opportunities off those offensive rebounds, you're probably to blame for those issues. The Washington Wizards can be blamed with a lot of what happened tonight in terms of they gave up a lot of open shots, they gave up a lot of easy offensive rebounds and easy putbacks, and they gave up a crud ton of turnovers and easy points in transition off of those turnovers. When you do those three things as a team, it is no wonder that the team you are playing is going to score a lot of points. And so that's what happened for us tonight. We really did not play that wonderfully offensively. The spacing wasn't great. We didn't shoot the ball well, exorbitantly well to score 126 points. What allowed us to score 126 points with relative ease, where we were able to take our important players off the floor and play the young guys at the end of the game and let them get some reps and let Keaton get in the game. And again, when Keaton Wallace plays, we usually have great things to talk about at the end of the game. He did get in the competitive portion a little bit, but it was nice to see him also get to come in for that, last little stretch there. And when you look at it, usually you're like, oh, well, the Hawks played well, so that's the reason they scored. That's the reason they blew this team out. That was not the case tonight. That was honestly the other team handed us gift wrapped. Hey, here's a 30-point win. Sort of. The problem is that they handed us gift wrapped 126 points. What they didn't do was hand us gift wrapped holding them to 96 points. Our defense was fantastic tonight. We played such great team defense for the majority of the game. There were times where we had Kispert and CJ McCollum on the floor together that were very, very rough defensively, and it showed. There were a few times where we were up a very large margin, like 25, and they would cut it to 12. And you go, how'd that happen? Well, it's because the defense got worse all of a sudden. Let's look at the lineups who are on the floor. It's a Corey and CJ lineup. It's a Corey, CJ, and Jock Landale lineup. And you go, this is just not going to work. Stop putting these lineups on the floor. I would hate to see what the three-man lineup's defensive efficiency is for those three players. It might be mortifying to look at. You might get ill seeing it. And so, again, if you are as smart as I believe the basketball minds that are in the front office for the Atlanta Hawks are, you have to know you can't play those guys together. But overall, the defense was fantastic tonight. Really great stuff from Dyson. Dyson, amazing defensive game. Really great stuff from Mo. Amazing defensive game. Great defensive game from Zach. Really amazing stuff from Vincent. Gabe Vincent played amazing defense tonight. Now, the offense is still, he just kind of isn't a great scorer, not a great shot maker. But he keeps you, moving in the flow of the offense. And his defense was so good tonight, hounding ball handlers, not letting anyone go around screens the way they want to. His screen navigation was beautiful, causing havoc in passing lanes, attacking the dribble. Really great stuff. And it also was great in a communicative, like, collective defense. Nobody was just completely out of position, not doing what they were supposed to. Very few defensive breakdowns in terms of back cuts, and in terms of not knowing who to box out, in terms of just straight blow-bys. That only happened a few times tonight. And when you limit those things, then you make the other team make hard shots. And we have enough great athletes that are really good defenders that are in these guys' faces that make it hard to make hard shots. Like, let's say you take a shot and it's a 30% shot because the defense did a good job and they held you to a shot that traditionally you would make 30% of the time. Well, when you've got Dyson or Naw or Mo or Kuminga or Zach or any of those guys on you, that 30% shot now becomes a 10% shot because it's so much more difficult to shoot it over somebody like that. And so when you force a player to shoot something like that, and you have these long athletes that are amazing defenders, you have amazing defensive output for the game. That is what we should be striving towards every game. We're going to score enough points on just like effort, and we have enough good shot makers. I mean, we have people who can make shots. We proved it tonight. We didn't have probably our two best like offensive shot making profile kind of players. And McCollum and Kispert made the offense sort of flow well, and we made up for it on the margins with some effort stats. And at the end of the day, you look and you go, we still scored 126. That's plenty to win. So I would like to see us continue, again, lean into that defense and lean young. Our young guys are playing very, very, very well, especially in the defensive end and especially in those effort stats. So continue to lean into these young guys. So moving to a player-by-player section here, we're going to talk about starting off. We got to see some Asa Newell and Christian Koloko minutes. Koloko had 4 points. Asa Newell had 2 points. They were both net zero. I mean, they were fine, but it was kind of garbage time. It was run up and down the court and see how much summer ball possessions we can get in. It wasn't that big of a deal, but they both played fine in their minutes, and it was good to see. I will say it was very funny. In our last lineup that we played, we had Zach, who's 6'11", and we had Mo, who's basically 7 feet tall, and we had Asa, who's basically 7 feet tall, and we had Christian Koloko, who's 7 feet tall. And so that lineup was huge. And so it was very funny to watch them like go in the paint and get a block, and then go in the paint and get a block, and then not be able to get a defensive rebound, and we got the offensive rebound and put it in. I mean, it happened over and over and over again. And again, we have lineups we can put out there that are ginormous. Like you think about Dyson can play the point guard at 6'7", 6'8". That is a huge point guard. And then you look and you go, we could put Zach out there at the 2, and Kuminga out there at the 3, and Mo out there at the 4, and Jock Landale out there at the 5. And you go, well, that's 6'11", 6'8", 7 feet tall, 7 feet tall. Oh, but we want to play Jalen instead of Kuminga. Okay, well, now you just got even taller. Oh, well, we want Kuminga to go back in the game. Okay, move Jalen down to the 4, put Kuminga at the 3, you're just as tall. Okay, well, We want to take Zach off now. Okay, that's fine. Put on Null, and now you're still just huge. I mean, we have some ginormous lineups we can put on the floor. Please do more of that. Okay, so moving on, Keaton Wallace played 13 minutes. He didn't score an 0 3 from the field. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist. Played honestly pretty bad, but finished the game plus 10 because in his lineups and in his minutes, we played very well around him. There were a lot of great defensive possessions. Corey was going off and making a lot of shots, and so we were able to kind of mitigate not super great game from Keaton Wallace, but hopefully we'll get Naw back and we won't be requiring Keaton Wallace minutes. But again, as I've said kind of all year, Keaton Wallace is your consummate professional where you're like, he's not going to embarrass me if I have injuries and he has to play. So good job. That's really fantastic work from Keaton. He didn't embarrass you. You were able to win his minutes and he kept you moving in a positive direction, especially being able to play some good defense. Next, we're going to talk about Gabe Vincent. So Vincent had a also very interesting game where he had 16 minutes, 3 points on a 104 from the field, 104 from three, but he had 4 assists. He didn't have a rebound, a steal, or a block, but the defense was really, really good from Vincent tonight, and he finished plus 15. Really, really great stuff from him. I mean, he was truly like lockdown kind of defender and moved the ball very well in short minutes. Had a good number of assists. Took care of the ball. I really like him playing because he can play defense, and so I would continue to lean into that. He's going to make the offense flow. He's going to make sure theirs doesn't. That is helpful to have. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about Muhammad Gay. So Mo played 18 minutes. He had 2 points on 101 shooting, 6 rebounds, only 1 turnover. He did have 5 fouls, but some of those were kind of like tic-tacky. He grabbed their jersey for a second, and they called. I thought that was ridiculous, some of the calls he got tonight. But he finished with a turnover, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and finished plus 6. So we did have a little bit of a problem with Mo on the offensive end. We weren't able to move the ball as well with him on the floor, and a lot of it stemmed from just seeming to like be cut out of the offense. Like they just won't throw it to him. I've noticed this with CJ a lot. Like Mo Gay will be open, and the proper play will be to throw it to Mo Gay, and he will just shoot it because I guess he thinks that that's a better option than throwing it to him. I don't know. Mo's a better player than like you literally can't throw him the ball. Like if Clint Capella in his prime, I liked Clint. He was a very, very good defensive player, amazing offensive rebounder. But if he was standing out at the 3-point line, don't throw him the ball. But Mo's not that way. Like if he's staying out of the 3-point line, he can do the dribble handoff stuff. He can make a 3 every once in a while. Like you can throw him the ball, but we weren't. And that was kind of like all lineups didn't really throw him the ball. Most egregiously it was CJ, but it was kind of from everybody, and that kind of ruined the spacing because if you have one guy that's never going to touch it, his dude is going to stop worrying about him catching the ball. And so I would like to see that kind of remedied. Let's throw him the ball more. But overall, the defense was sensational tonight from Muhammad Gay. Like really, really awesome. So great job on that end. Moving on, we're going to talk about Jock Landale. So Jock played 18 minutes. He had 9 points on 3 of 9 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists with 2 turnovers and 2 fouls. He did finish with 2 steals and a block and finish plus 20. We were really, really good with him on the floor because they play so small. And it's what I've talked about really since we got Jock. If you play small, he's going to take whatever tiny dude that you put on him and he is going to stick him under the rim and he's going to make him eat iron and make him like it. And that I want our other players to learn from. Just to be like, I know the advantage I have, and I'm going to take that advantage and I'm going to shove it down their throat. And they're going to have to enjoy it because they have no other option. That I'm really loving from Jock Landale, and he punished them all night long tonight. Every time he got on the floor, he stuck a dude on the rim, threw his hand up, we threw him the ball, and he dunked it. Now, he did shoot the ball pretty poorly from the perimeter and had a couple of little bunnies, that like little baby hooks and things that rimmed out, or else he would have played even better. But, I mean, he was dominating them physically, and I enjoyed seeing it because he's very, very, very good when he does that and when another team allows him to do that with the lineups they deploy. Next, we'll talk about Corey Kispert. So this was a interesting game from Corey. Let's just say that 28 minutes, 33 points on 11 of 19 shooting, 6 of 11 from three. He had 6 rebounds, assists, 2 turnovers. Had a block but no steals. Finished plus 26. Corey tonight, the defense was bad. Do not get me wrong. The defense was bad. But he was on fire. You could tell he wanted to get some revenge on his former team. It was an onslaught from Corey tonight. He was aggressive all night long, towards the rim, looking for his shot, hunting for his three. He looked like a dude who wanted to get some payback. And he did. He played really, really well. Now, again, I am still of the group that says Corey probably shouldn't be playing right now. We should probably be giving those minutes to Gabe Vincent, more to Zach, more to Null, more to Dyson, these players who can get stops. But he played fantastic tonight, so good job. And we didn't have Null, we didn't have Jalen, so Corey was going to play, and he took advantage of those minutes and played very, very well. Good on him. Huge plus in the scorebook. It's kind of, I mean, this is the Corey Kispert game. It's a career high. He kind of single-handedly carried the offense for large portions of the game. Very good from him, but also don't know how sustainable that is, and the defense is still really bad. So let's maybe understand that this might be a flash in the pan kind of game and not think it's going to be, hey, let's play him 30-something minutes every night for the rest of the year because he had that one game where he shot the ball well. That, to me, is poor process. Moving to the starters, start with Zachary Reese, I'll say. So Zach played 25 minutes. He had 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Didn't have a steal or a block, but finished plus 10. The defense was really good. The shot is still flat at times. His one make from 3 was very, very beautiful. It had a nice arc to it. Good spin on the ball, good rotation. I don't know why he's shooting the ball flat. I think it might be a rushing thing. I don't really know, but he has been, and that's affecting the 3-point jumper. But overall, Zach looked very good tonight. Didn't play a ton. Didn't need to play a ton. I would have liked to see him play more because we were beating them so badly. But he played well in his minutes. He's looking a little bit more aggressive, attacking the paint a little bit more. He's gotten, a lot more in transition, which is something that we were kind of missing from him earlier in the season. I really enjoy that because he's a very prolific player in transition. So good on him. Very, very good game from Zach. A lot of people will box score watch and just say he only scored 8 points. He must have stunk. And that's a person who doesn't understand how basketball works. So let's be people who understand how basketball works, understand that he gives us a lot. He's rebounding the ball very well. He's playing defense very well, and he is scoring when he is called upon. Good for him. Moving on, we're going to talk about Onyeka Okongwu. So Onyeka played a very low amount of minutes tonight for Onyeka. It's usual what he's played in the year, but I kind of like that. Don't have to play him when Jock's playing well. But he played 26 minutes. He had 10 points on 2 of 7 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. Again, his 3-point shot he's coming down. We need to go back where it was. He had 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Not a great assist-turnover ratio. A steal and 3 blocks. Finished plus 10. Overall, he played well. He finished well around the basket. Did not shoot the ball well, as I said, but the defense was quite good. But he did turn the ball over a lot and didn't have that same kind of ball movement mentality he had last game. And so that hindered his plus-minus some. Now, he still played well enough to have a plus 10, played very well in his minutes. What do I want us to do? Beat them by 40? Yes, that is exactly what I want us to do. And so I look at this and say, but he could have done this. He could have taken care of the ball a little better, shot the ball a little better. If that had been the case, then we would have beaten them by even more, which I would have loved to see. It would have been a beautiful thing to talk about us beating them by 40 instead of beating them by 30. Moving on, we're going to talk about Dyson Daniels. So Dyson, he had another interesting offensive game. In 33 minutes, he had 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3. His 2 misses from 3 were awful. But his make had nice arc to it, and it had good backspin. And apparently they brought in some outside shooting consultant to help Dyson. I hope that's helpful. I would really like that. He had 4 rebounds and 11 assists, only 2 turnovers. He had 5 steals and a block and finished a game best, plus 28. Again, so you don't have to shoot the ball hyper well. You don't have to be this amazing offensive savant to make a positive impact. He passed the ball well, he rebounded the ball well, he didn't turn the ball over, and he turned the other team over 5 times at a minimum. That's a guy who needs to play a lot and is going to make a huge difference to your team. That is something we need to continue to lean in towards and understand that if he can shoot a jump shot, that then becomes an absolute upper level Gary Payton type of superstar player. That's what Dyson could be. We just need to keep trying to develop him to that point. He is so close. He just needs that last step, which is making those jumpers in game. Next, we're going to talk about CJ McCollum. So CJ had another interesting game, I will say. 26 minutes, 25 points. If I stop right there, you go, man, CJ played great. He had 9 shots made on 19 field goal attempts, 2 of 8 from 3. So he scored 25 points on 19 shots. 2 of 8 from 3. 6 rebounds, 3 assists. As the primary ball handler, only 3 assists. Did have no turnovers, but did not record a block. Only had 1 steal against a team with as many turnovers as we talked about earlier in the game. And finished the game +2. When you play that bad of defense and shoot the ball that poorly and hostage that many possessions in a game, we won by 30. You only won your minutes by 2. He's not playing well. I know he's scoring a lot. He's not playing well. The defense is really, really bad. And when we play teams that play very well offensively, they will go at him on every single possession with no questions asked. So we need to know that's coming, because that is coming. We played a game, our next game on Sunday is a game that they are going to go at CJ McCollum with relentless fervor. And when they do, if they beat us, that will be why. Because they will attack CJ and they will attack Corey. To the 2 players that are playing really, really bad defense on our team right now. Now, moving on to the last player we're going to talk about, Jonathan Kuminga had another very nice game. Not a great game, but a very nice game. Played 30 minutes. He had 17 points on 5 of 9 shooting. Very good efficiency. Only 1 of 3 from 3 and was 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Would like him to make all his free throws. But he had 9 rebounds with 3 assists. Did have 3 turnovers. A lot of those I thought were kind of overzealous turnovers, where he's like trying to make a pass that maybe human beings can't make. That's a very small hole, and it's kind of a smaller hole that you're trying to fit that in, the ball can go in. So don't do that. But he did have a steal and a block and finished +23. He was very dominant in his minutes. The defense was really, really great. He scored the ball with great efficiency. He helped facilitate the offense and move the ball, from side to side of the floor. Was very, very, very poignant in all of the things he did tonight. Again, would like to clean up some of those turnover issues, but nothing too terrible. Played very, very good and looks so far, I mean, he only played 2 games, but looks to really fit in here in Atlanta and looks to really fit in with what we're trying to become and the way we're trying to play at the top level. So I'm not talking about even Quinn Snyder. I'm talking about like the vision Ansi Saleh has for the organization. Jonathan Kuminga seems to fit that mold. So moving forward, as I said, we have a game on Sunday, first game of March, versus the Portland Trailblazers. Very good team, very good defensive team. Jamani Kamara, very good player. Donovan Clingan, really just a hoss of a defensive player, really, really fantastic. That's not going to be an easy win. Hopefully we have Jalen and Nikhil back. They were both questionable for tonight's game. Doesn't seem like they're going to be out for a super long period of time. Maybe we held them out because we knew we could beat the Washington Wizards by 30 without them. But Portland's not that way. So if we're trying to make a real headway towards this, this season and trying to make it out of the play-in and things like that, That would be a big game to get to start a little winning streak here, because then we've got the Bucks who've been struggling, and the Sixers who've been struggling, and then the Mavericks who've been struggling, and then the Nets who've been struggling. And so I would like to see us maybe try to rattle off a really nice stretch of games here and do what we can. I'm not expecting us to win every one of those games, but if we could, have a nice long spurt of a very positive run of games and some positive form, I would really, really enjoy that as a Hawks lover, but also a person who wants to see us in postseason basketball, because we have so many young players. I'd like to see those young players get valuable postseason experience. I don't think that we're winning the championship this year. I've said that many times on the podcast, but I do think that this could be a great learning experience for all of our young players, and a great way for us to see kind of, where do these players' skill sets stack up against postseason basketball, and the way it's officiated, and the way that the other teams play, and are we able to compete against these highly competitive teams in a 7-game series when we can make lots of adjustments and they can make lots of adjustments? Are we able to compete with the roster we have, and who's not fitting in, that sort of thing? So I'd love to see us move into that part of contention in terms of being out of the play and really playing true postseason basketball. So, all that being said, like, comment, and subscribe here on the YouTube. Hit me up on all the socials with any questions you have. Let me know your thoughts on tonight's game and whether or not you think it was that we played well or that Washington is just that bad. It might be a little bit of both, I won't lie, but let me know what you think. Like I always say, I've got Reddit, I've got Instagram, I've got Twitter, I've got Blue Sky, I've got all the things that you can imagine. Those are the ones I'm primarily on, but if you find me on them and you want to ask me any questions or let me know any of your thoughts, I'm more than willing to have a little bit of banter with you. So, with that being said, I'll see you back on the podcast on Sunday. Might have an episode in between now and then to discuss a few things that are going on in the basketball world. But above everything else, I hope you have a great day.